What's up everyone, Darcblade here with a quick information video regarding this week's limited bounties, event quests, and miscellaneous news for Monster Hunter Wilds. This is for the week starting the 4th of February 2026, so let's jump into this. Now first of all, in regards to miscellaneous news, there is a few bits to cover. First of all, the rewards for the free challenge quest against Arch-Temper Jinderhad have been given out. These pendants can be found by talking to the support desk Palico and going to claim content. Depending on what rank you got, will dictate how many pendants and what kind of pendants you got for this free challenge hunt. The next bit of information is there appears to be a date floating around that the 18th of February 2026 is when we are getting the next title update, which brings with it Arch-Tempered Arkveld, which is going to be the final title update for Monster Hunter Wilds. This makes sense in keeping with Capcom's release schedule, as they probably don't want the title update to be colliding too much with the release of Resident Evil Requiem at the end of February and Monster Hunter Stories 3 a few weeks into March. Finally, the last bit of miscellaneous information is that the PC, the Steam version of Monster Hunter Wilds, has received its performance patch, which seems to be going down quite well. There have been numerous reports that the patch is working as intended, and performance for Monster Hunter Wilds for PC players has vastly and dramatically improved. At least from the majority of players that I've heard from. But anyway, let's move on to talk about this week's limited bounties. As always, these can be accessed by talking to the Palico at the support desk or in your menus. This week we have the following. First of all is to complete 5 quests ranked 1 star or higher, so basically any quest. And for doing so, you'll get some advanced armor spheres. Next up is to complete 3 quests in the Oil Well Basin. Again, these can be done at any rank, and for doing so you'll get a silver melding ticket and some hard armor spheres. Next up is to hunt 5 large high rank fanged beast monsters, so Dushagama, Kongalala, so on and so forth. And for doing so, you'll get a silver relic ticket and a heavy armor sphere. Next up is to hunt 3 tempered monsters ranked 5 star or higher, so the lower tempered monsters really, although doing higher tempered monsters will also count towards this. And for doing so, you'll get some Orichalcite, heavy armor sphere, and Pick-a-Mill voucher. And then finally is to hunt 5 tempered New Udra ranked 9 star or higher. Again, this means that we have to hunt a specific monster rather than hunt 5 9-star monsters of our choice. New Udra though isn't the most difficult of 9-star monsters, so I don't mind this one as much, but I still preferred the old way of picking which 9 stars we got to face. Of course, there are also the Arena Limited Bounties, Fishing Limited Bounties, and Endemic Life Limited Bounties you can participate in if you want some extra tasks to complete this week. But let's move away from Limited Bounties to talk about this week's event quests. Now, as always, event quests, they rotate in and out every week. However, there are some permanent ones which we won't go into too much detail. The permanent event quests include the likes of special quests such as the Gogmazios event quest and the Savage Omega event quest. You have also access to all the Arch-Tempered monsters, as well as event quests that involve Artian weapon parts, armor spheres, and other special ores. So what do we have in terms of rotating event quests this week, and is there anything new? Well, unfortunately there isn't anything really new. The first event quest is Lalas and Toads and Bears Oh My, an 8-star high rank quest that requires hunters to be hunter rank 41 or above, and has players taking on a tempered Lala Barina and tempered Dushagama in Scarlet Forest. Now for completing this quest, you're rewarded with feline wanted posters. Now, I made a mistake here last week, as I only assumed, or I only noticed that the feline wanted posters could be used to craft the Thief Palico armor set, but it can be used for more than that, as there is a sword and shield that you can craft, the feline sword and shield, known as the Cat Burglar. This is a paralysis sword and shield with decent decoration slots, okay sharpness, but most importantly, it has the Cat Burglar skill attached to it, which grants a small chance of obtaining various items upon landing critical hits. So it's a farming sword and shield, and as it's a paralysis weapon, it can be used against most monsters as well. I doubt I would use this against high tier monsters like Gogmazios, but it's still a fun addition. But anyway, what else do we have this week? Well, next up is the Monkey King, a 9-star high rank quest that requires hunters to be hunter rank 100 or above to participate in, and this has players taking on a tempered Ajarakan in the Oil Well Basin, a 9-star tempered Ajarakan. And for completing this quest, you're rewarded with glowing stones that can be used and turned into random talismans. So it's a talisman farming quest, which could be considered a little bit easier than some of the others out there. You then have Shining Blades against the Dull Wasteland, a 6-star high rank quest that requires hunters to be hunter rank 31 or above, and has players taking on a Seregios in the Windward Plains. The main reason to take this quest on is you're rewarded with quite a few decorations upon completion that you can use in your weapons. Next up, and in keeping with the aforementioned quest, we have No More Mr. Ice Guy, a 6-star high rank quest that requires hunters to be hunter rank 31 or above, and has players taking on a Tempered Blangonga in the Ice Shard Cliffs. And for completing this quest, you're rewarded with quite a few decorations that you can use in your armour. Next up is Ballet in the Rain, a 5-star high rank quest that requires hunters to be hunter rank 21 or above, and has players taking on a Tempered Lalabarina in the Scarlet Forest. And for completing this quest, you're rewarded again with weapon decorations, but this is the lower tier weapon decorations. Next up is San Scarred Soul, a 5-star high rank quest that requires hunters to be hunter rank 9 or above, and has players taking on a Deshagma in the Windward Plains. And much like the other previous quests we've just talked about, for completing this you're rewarded with decorations that you can use in your armour, but again they're lower tier decorations. Finally is Stalking Supper, a 4-star high rank quest that requires hunters to be hunter rank 9 or above, and has players taking on a Chematrice in the Windward Plains. Now for taking this quest on and completing it, you're rewarded with quite a few ingredients that you can use on the barbecue grill, namely cunifer cheese. So there we have it, those are all the event quests and limited bounties we have this week. But before we go, I should point out that we have a few arena challenge quests still to participate in. These are namely tied to the Japanese 2026 tournament and our practice arena quests for those of you who want to test your mettle. You don't get any real tangible rewards from them. But that about wraps up all the activity we have this week. It is a little bit of a slow week as we have Arch-Tempered Arkveld and the final title update just around the corner. I believe as well we are also going to be seeing the seasonal events start to rerun soon as well, but I'll bring you information as it's made available. But what are your thoughts? Please leave your comment down below, and until next time, I've been Darcblade, bringing you a quick information video regarding this week's limited bounties, miscellaneous news and event quests for Monster Hunter Wilds. Hope you enjoyed it, thanks for watching, subscribe and like for more.